Hey guys, Metalwargod here, and I have another video of the collections update here. My collection video number 2, and I am going to start number 2 with classic band. I can remember when I first got their first album back in the 70s, and I'm going to start with one of my all-time favorite bands, Judas Priest, and of course we start out with their first album, Rock-a-Rolla, which is a classic album from 1974, and of course this is on the Gull Records. And I mean, what can you say about this album? It's classic. One for the Road, Deep Freeze, Winter Retreat, Cheater, and I mean, it's a classic album. One of my favorite. I love early Priest the best, in my opinion. I think that's when they were at their strongest. Yes, you can go into the 80s where they were a big powerhouse, but I prefer the early Judas Priest. Anyway, here's Rock-a-Rolla 74. Up next, of course, we got Judas Priest with Sad Wings of Destiny, and of course, this one, I believe, let's see, this one came out in 75, I believe. And, yeah, I believe it was 75. And of course, this one also is on the Gull record label. And, actually, this is on Ovation Records. But, this is a classic album as there ever was. Of course, it's got Genocide, Island of Damnation, The Ripper, Victims of Change, and a classic album, number 2 in their catalog on vinyl. Good stuff here. Number 3, of course, talking about Sin After Sin from Judas Priest, Sinner, Diamonds, and Rust. Of course, this is from 1977, third release. Again, very early raw sounding Priest. Again, I think they're at one of their best in the early era of Judas Priest. And so anyway, see, this one here is on Columbia Records, so they changed. First two are on Gull. If you're fortunate enough to get them. So anyway, Sin After Sin, Judas Priest. And so anyway, it had this album. Number 3, number 4, Stained Class, getting up into some of my favorite Judas Priest. Of course, this came out in 1978. Of course, it has Exciter, White Heat, Red Hot, Stained Class, Invader, Beyond the Realms of Death, and so anyway, classic early 70s or mid 70s, late 70s Judas Priest. Your Stained Class. And of course, you have to throw in, this is actually a best of. This is from 74 though, on Gull. And of course, this came out in 1978. Actually, it's 1978, excuse me. But it has some of the material from 74, 76, 77. Of course, it has Rock-a-Rolla, Never Satisfied, Diamonds and Rust, The Ripper, and so forth. So here is the best of the Judas Priest. The next, let's see here, I am not sure, but anyway, here's Point of Entry from Judas Priest. Of course, this one came out in 1981 this came out. Point of Entry, Judas Priest. Of course, it has Heading Out to the Highway, Hot Rockin', Solar Angels, Troubleshooter. Of course, there's 2 versions, the US version and the UK version. I believe this is the UK version. And anyway, good stuff. Up next, Hellbent for Leather, my favorite Judas Priest. And this one came out in 1978. It has Delivering the Goods, Rock Forever, Hellbent for Leather, The Green Manalishi, Killing Machine. And of course, this is the US version of Judas Priest, Hellbent for Leather. And of course, you have the European or the UK version, which was called Killing Machine. Basically the same songs, but actually the UK version and the US version. The US version has the Green Manalishi, whereas the UK version does not have the Green Manalishi. Of course, this one was on Columbia Records, and this one was on CBS Records. And as far as I can tell, the rest of the tracks are the same, but again, this does not have the Green Manalishi. Up next, British Steel. It's kind of where they really started to take off a little bit. And this is from 1980. Of course, it has probably one of the most famous songs on here, Breaking the Law. It has Metalwargod, Grinder, Living After Midnight, You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise, Steeler. Classic album, classic band, Judas Priest, British Steel. Up next, here's the other point of entry I was talking about, which is the US version. And this is from 81. Let's see here. I'm gonna take a gander back here. I thought I had these in order, but evidently I did not. And anyway, here are the two versions. UK, US, and as far as I can tell, this one has hot circles, or turning circles. Well, actually, it's all the same, basically. So I'm mistaken. And anyway, two classic albums, different covers, different locations, UK, US. Up next, Unleashed in the East. This is from 79. Earlier, actually, 1979. One great live album, of course, has Exciter, Run Wild, Sinner, Ripper, Green Manalishi, Diamonds and Rust, Victims of Change, Genocide, Tyrant, and classic live album. Up next is probably where they really took off, and probably a lot of people's favorite, Screaming for Vengeance, from 1982. Of course, you got the Hellion, Electric Eye, Screaming for Vengeance, you got Another Thing Coming, and just a great album. Again, I prefer the earlier stuff, but this is where they really started to take off and become a global phenomenon worldwide. And so anyway, Screaming for Vengeance. Then you got, of course, you got Defenders of the Faith from Judas Priest. From 1984, of course, you got Free Will Burnin', Rock Hard, Ride Free, The Sentinel, Defenders of the Faith. And these two albums probably will define the whole career of a Judas Priest as far as a big global success and where and what they are today. Defenders of the Faith. Up next, Turbo from 1986 on CBS. Of course, it has Turbo Lover, Rock Roll Around the World, Out in the Cold, Wild Nights, Hot Crazy Days. And so anyway, great stuff. Of course, you know, you gotta like Judas Priest. But you know, later on they changed a little bit. Of course, Halford left, but he did come back. And of course, now I finally got this one. I thought I had it one time. I had Priest Live from 1987, Gatefold edition. And another great live album. Of course, it has a lot of their hits: Heading Out the Highway, Metalwargod, Breaking the Law, Sentinel, Electric Eye, Free Will Burning, Living After Midnight. You got Another Thing Coming. Anyway, classic live Priest. Now we're getting into when actually Halford came back into the band. And of course, I have this on vinyl, Redeemer of Souls, the last one, which was 2014. And this is the Gatefold. And great album. I think one of the better new classic albums, newer albums that I like the best. Anyway, Redeemer of Souls. And I'm missing a couple on vinyl. And then I got this here last year, was Judas Priest Saw Blade on Record Store Day. The 10-inch. Of course, this has Painkiller, Touch of Evil, Hell Patrol. I mean, it'll never be played. It's just a showcase item. And so, yeah, good to have. So now I'm going to get into the CDs I have. And of course, gotta have Rock-A-Rolla. Of course, these are all remastered and so forth. Of course, I believe this is one of the alternate cover versions of Rock-A-Rolla. But I have this one, so it's good here. Of course, Sad Wings of Destiny, Cook Records. And then Sin After Sin, all classic albums. This is from the Masters, and I had the whole Master set. Unfortunately, I sold it. I still kick myself in the ass today. And these were actually, if you look at this, the trademark up here, there was the gray version of this trademark, and then there was the silver version. I had the silver version. Now, when you get all the remasters, also they came out in sets of 4, and I believe there are 12 in the set, and when you put all the sets together, the spines, I can't remember exactly what it had, the Priest logo, I believe, not the logo, but the, I can't, anyway, you kind of know what I mean, but this is a remaster, silver edition. And of course, they all have bonus material. And here's another one of the remasters with Stained Class. Again, it has the silver emblem up here. And, of course, Hellbent for Leather. This one is a little different. This is the gray logo. So let's see if you can see a difference here. Gray logo, silver logo. They are a little bit different. I had the silver logo on all 12. Fortunately, I don't have them anymore. Of course, now we got 30th anniversary of Screaming for Vengeance. This also comes with a DVD. So, I'm a huge collector. One I don't have on vinyl, but I have it on CD. Ram it down. This is from, well, actually, this is a 1988 release. Oh. Yeah, I'm missing a few on vinyl, but good stuff. And then, where they steal the 30th anniversary remastered CD. Of course, it has the DVD, killer stuff. Of course, then we have Judas Priest Tyrant, the original masters. It's put out by Electra Music. And then there's some other mixed match stuff in here. Of course, it's got Judas Priest, This is a Prisoners of Pain. This is a Sony Music Special Project. And I'll just have some greatest hits on there. Full boards. And then, of course, Painkiller, which I don't have on vinyl. Has one of my all-time favorite songs on here, Nightcrawler. And Between the Hammer and the Anvil, Touch of Evil is also great on here. Painkiller. It's a great album, this Painkiller. And then, of course, there's Jugulator from 1997. Granted, it's not one of the strongest Judas Priest out there, but it's okay, I guess, you know. Of course, I have Jugulator, Bloodstained, Dead Meat, so forth. So anyway, and then comes Judas Priest 98 Meltdown 2 CD set, CMC International BMG 2 CD set, good stuff. And then, of course, I have a tribute to Judas Priest. Of course, this has Annihilator, Primal Fear, Skid Row, Witchery, Iced Earth, Hammerfall, Benediction, Death, Silent Force, Seal Prophet, Armored Saint, Therian, Thunderstorm, all doing cover songs from Judas Priest. And I don't see too many of these out there, but I was fortunate enough to get a copy of this. Of course, then we have another best of called Living After Midnight, the best of Judas Priest. Came out in 97, has all the hits on there like you usually see. And this is the Legacy Rock Experience Edition. And then we're getting into Demolition. With his without, of course, Rob Halford. It's an okay album, not something I listen to all the time. First 3 songs on here I love. Machine Man 101, Hell Is Home. After that it kind of really slacks off a little bit. But still, it's Judas Priest. Gotta have it in the collection. And then one I don't have on vinyl, I will get. Of course, is Angel of Retribution. This is a digibook version. Of course, this came out in 2005, and this is a return of Halford. Good album. And then we have Nostradamus. A lot of people really don't care for this one. I'm not a real big fan of it, but it's a very long, drawn-out album. More of a concept. Of course, this one came out in 2008, and it is 2 CD set. Anyway, and then we have another live album, Touch of Evil Live. Of course, it's got Judas Rising, some of the newer stuff off of the newer albums. Hell Rider, some classic stuff, Between the Hammer and the Anvil, Beyond the Realms of Death, Painkiller. But anyway, Touch of Evil, Judas Priest Live. And then, of course, got Redeemer of Souls, good album. Production is a little lacking on it, but still a good album from these guys. This came out in 2014, and anyway, good stuff. And then, of course, another one, the very best of, and it has, you know, of course, all their hits on there from the album. And you know, again, I love Priest. I'll collect anything Priest I can get on my hands on. This one actually came out in 2008 on Sony Records. And then, of course, again, let's see here. I got a Redeemer of Souls in Digi pack. So I got the regular version, which is this one, and then I got the Digi pack, which is this one. So this one does not come with a bonus. This one does. And then, you know, I'm missing one. I'm missing one album I should have had in here, but I forgot about it. I'll have to look for it. But anyway, that is one that came out last year. It's a 5-album set, and it's actually the bonus disc on vinyl, which is red. It has Snakebite, Tears of Blood, Creatures, Bring It On, and Never Forget. And then the latest one, of course, is another live album called Battle Cry from the Vodka Open Air, recorded last year. Good stuff. A lot of hits on here. Battle Cry, of course, Dragonaut, Metalwargod, Redeemer of Souls, Beyond the Realms, Death, Breaking the Law, Hellbent to Leather. A lot of good stuff on this. As far as I know, I have not seen it on vinyl. And then, of course, I have the box set here, which is Metalwargod. Bought it many years ago. Actually, I gotta look and see actually what year this did come out. Of course, inside of it. And then it has, of course, you get the book, history, and so forth. And then you get all the CDs with it. Which are get bonus DVD, there's 4 CDs in here. Very cool. I was glad to get this. So anyway, that is the box set. And of course it has a download card. I've never used it. But still, I was glad to have this box set, Metalwargod. You know, it's a great addition to the collection. And also now I want to add in the DVDs I have. Of course, there is Electric Eye, which are the videos, and it has Priest Live, 19 classic songs, and it has BBC TV performances. If you haven't got this, very good DVD. And then of course I do have the book version of Nostradamus. And you know, it looks like a book, download card, but glad to have that. And of course, then I have Rising in the East, and then I have Live Vengeance 1982. Also, I have shirts, which I've gotten. I don't have a lot of free shirts, but I do have a couple. Of course, I got this stained glass one, nothing on the back, just front. And then I have this one here, which actually somebody sent me this shirt. They didn't want it anymore, and I said, yeah, I'll take it. What the hell? Might as well. So, anyway. That is my Judas Priest collection and part of number 2, the collection series from Metalwargod. And don't forget to check out my radio show every Wednesday nights on Metal Uprising, Sonic Asylum Radio. I'm on from 7 to 10:30, and check it out. And as I always say, keep it loud, keep it heavy, keep it metal, and I'll see you next time on Metalwargod's video collection number 3. Take care, everybody.